A film set may seem like a natural environment for actors, but with a bad combination of clashing actors and directors, heightened emotions, and uncontrollable egos, a movie shoot can easily become the place of a total actor meltdown. Here are 10 actors who suffered meltdowns on the set of their movies. If you like our list, don't forget to tell us, and be sure to subscribe to the ScreenRant channel.
What do you got?
Gene Hackman. There are certain seasoned actors who have reached such a height of fame that the mere thought of a hot new director wanting them in their movie doesn't flatter them, it makes them angry. When Gene Hackman discovered that Wes Anderson wrote the role of the patriarch to the titular The Royal Tenenbaums specifically for him, he was livid. He was also furious that he would be earning so little, since it was an independent film. Hackman's agent convinced him to take on the role, but the actor's anger filtered through on set.
You son of a bitch! God.
His behavior was so unnerving to the rest of the cast, they managed their best to keep far away from Hackman and his daily vitriol. Marlon Brando. Marlon Brando was a legendary actor, not only for his performances on screen, but for his crazy antics when the cameras weren't rolling. His major meltdown came on the set of 1996's The Island of Dr. Moreau. One of Brando's decisions was to wear an ice bucket as a hat. There didn't seem to be any relevance to the ice bucket, it was just something the actor found and wanted to wear. It was also his decision to put a friend of his who was also a little person in the film, who became a sort of mini-me to Brando's character. Finally, Brando was so indifferent to his role, he wore an earpiece with someone feeding him his lines. Wesley Snipes. For years, Wesley Snipes has only brought problems to film sets. It appears that 2004's Blade Trinity was no exception. Snipes spent most of the time in his trailer rather than interacting with his co-stars or preparing for scenes. He also accused director David Goyer of being racist, after seeing another black actor wearing a non-wardrobe shirt with garbage emblazoned on the front. This incident caused Snipes to threaten Goyer's life.
Moving on.
There was so much tension on set, Snipes was regularly replaced with a stand-in and only showed up for close-ups. Most of the comical scenes with Ryan Reynolds were done without Snipes there, with post-production placing him in the scene later. All that strife on set may have led to the final product being uneven, at best.
Yeah.
Lindsay Lohan. Poor Lindsay Lohan has had what seems like endless meltdowns in the public eye. 2013's cinematic nightmare The Canyons may have been a failure on its own, but Lohan's on-set bizarre behavior was no help.
Please, enlighten me.
After not showing up on the first day, the director abruptly fired her. After she sat outside his hotel room crying for hours, he gave her another chance. Lohan also had an emotional breakdown and refused to film an orgy scene. Since the scenes were in the script and the film also starred an adult film star, the scene was not any sort of curveball for Lindsay.
What are you gonna do?
After the director exposed himself to Lindsay, he demanded she disrobe and get in the scene, which she did. Julia Roberts. There is rarely controversy surrounding Julia Roberts. Once dubbed America's sweetheart, Roberts has had a long-lasting career with seldom a negative word spoken against her. However, in 1991, while filming Steven Spielberg's Hook, she was nicknamed Tinkerhell. Roberts was uncharacteristically bratty on set, which did not sit right with the director. Much of her poor behavior stemmed from the tremulous relationship with her fiancé at the time, Kiefer Sutherland. The relationship drama became even more complex when actor Jason Patric began visiting Roberts on set. Fortunately, Roberts seems to have gotten her on-set meltdowns out of her system early in her career. Jared Leto. There are some actors who are so dedicated to their roles, they remain in character for the entirety of the film shoot. Jared Leto, always the committed thespian, did just that for 2016's Suicide Squad. Playing someone as crazy as the Joker can't be easy, as it affected Heath Ledger greatly before his death in 2008. When Leto took on the role, he became abusive towards his co-stars with his Joker-like antics. Leto sent them a variety of disgusting items, including dead pigs, rats, and even used condoms. Unfortunately, his devotion to the character only led to disappointment for Leto once he discovered many of his scenes were cut from the final film. Christian Bale. On more than one occasion, the Dark Knight actor has displayed his tempestuous side on film sets. For 2009's Terminator Salvation, Bale just couldn't hide his annoyance with crew members who were stepping in frame. When director of photography Shane Hurlbut accidentally stepped in on a scene, Bale went berserk. The actor went on a long-winded tirade insulting Hurlbut and demanding he be removed from the set. The incident was recorded and went viral. Bale later explained that he had apologized to Herbert and they continued working. It's not clear if this was the only instance of a Bale meltdown on the set of Terminator Salvation, but it was the only one that was recorded for the world to hear. George Clooney. According to many actors, David O. Russell is not an easy director to work with. While he may create tension on set, he remains a director that actors want to work with, despite his demeanor. It was George Clooney who suffered a slight meltdown caused by Russell for 1999's Three Kings. After a horrendous shoot, which included the director verbally attacking nearly every crew member and personal assistant, the usually collected Clooney couldn't take it any longer. He demanded Russell do something about his behavior. Rather than directing his anger toward others, Clooney insisted the director get physical with him instead. Sort of like a pick on someone your own size type situation. After Russell literally butted heads with Clooney and then held his hand around his throat, Clooney reacted by grabbing his throat, wanting to kill him. Those around Clooney pulled him off the director and the filming somehow continued. Joaquin Phoenix. For Joaquin Phoenix, it was less of a case of a public meltdown and more of a performance art piece which convinced the public he was having some sort of breakdown. After receiving critical acclaim for his performances, the actor decided to retire from acting. In 2009, he made it clear to the public that he was out of the acting game for good, and he was now going to focus on a career as a hip-hop artist.
Is none other than the one and only Joaquin DC.
Every talk show appearance he made after the announcement not only reiterated his new passion, but was met with confused reactions by the host. One of his strangest interviews was with David Letterman, who tried to playfully address the new career change, which only made the interview more awkward.
What can you tell us about your days with the Unabomber?
In 2011, I'm Still Here, a supposed documentary directed by friend and brother-in-law Casey Affleck, was released. It was intended to highlight Phoenix's new career and journey as a rapper. Once critics and audiences saw the film, it was apparent that I'm Still Here was a mockumentary, just as Phoenix had been trolling the public for over a year. Chris Evans. Chris Evans may be a household name now, but reaching that level of fame was far too daunting for him to accept it easily. After signing a 6-picture deal with Marvel Films to be Captain America, Evans became increasingly anxious and was unsure if he could handle the pressure. He contemplated quitting acting altogether, and the notion that he would be unable to quit if he signed a contract gave him serious panic. While promoting his previous superhero role, Johnny Storm in the Fantastic Four, he felt overwhelmed and suffered his first meltdown. Luckily, Evans sought out a therapist to discuss his anxiety, and will continue playing the iconic superhero. What do you think of our list? Can you think of any other actors who suffered meltdowns? Let us know in the comments. Don't forget to hit the like button below and subscribe to our channel to see more great videos like this one. Thanks for watching.